let you know is that for the first 15 years of my life, I wasn't in this wheelchair. It was all about movement for me. Football, basketball, baseball, you couldn't get me to sit down and read a book. And it was December 28, 1985, I awoke to a numb big toe, like when your foot falls asleep or part of your body falls asleep. Those pins and needles, that's what my left toe felt like. Thought nothing of it. 48 hours later, that numbness went up one leg, went up the second leg, and left me paralyzed. Unable to move and feel from my waist down to my toes. No accident, no injury, no trauma. Ended up having a rare malformation of blood vessels that I was born with. And could have got my entire life with anything happening, but at that moment, December 28, 1985, that was my time. That was my time. And it was almost like a stroke in the spinal cord. And I was a very lucky kid at the time because most of those malformations had occurred in the brain and went down, in which those people never lived. Mine occurred in the spinal cord and left me paralyzed. So I was forced, and I remember, to adjust to life. I was forced to adjust to life. As anybody, whether you're born with a disability or you acquire your disability at some point. I acquired mine. So here I am getting ready to go into physical therapy to get back into life. And I'll never forget this woman, excuse me, Lisa Corelli, who's our next speaker. Now Lisa obviously had my chart, knew a little bit about me, but here she has this 15-year-old kid, and she's trying to get him back into life. Not only back into school, but back into life, to maximize his life as much as possible. And here I am, uncertain about everything that's going on in my life. I'm a teenager, I got nothing else to worry about. Lisa right away connected with the person. She connected with me. But what she did is that she went beyond what was on that paper. She talked to my parents, not because they just came to her, but she talked to my parents about the person that I was. I had friends in there. She talked to my friends. She talked to coaches that were involved who came to see me. She talked to my brother, trying to find out as much about Scott and what makes him tick. Found out I was an athlete. And that's all she needed to run with it. Every day in physical therapy with her was like a practice, getting ready for the biggest game of all, the game of life. And she pushed me and she challenged me each and every day. She found out what worked, she pushed my comfort zone, but more than anything is that she connected with the person, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to believe that that can help you in anything you do, is connecting with the person. People ask me all the time, Scott, what is it for you these days? Is it that you like to be called a person with a disability? Is it handicap? I'm like, Scott is great. I like being called Scott. Scott is perfect. If you gotta do something that's politically correct, I guess, yes, there is a person there first. Connect with that person. If it's difficult really to connect with that person, find the parents. And I know that what your mind is telling you is that all these things, you know what, is just creating more time, and I have all these other things to do. I'm telling you, especially with technology, especially with the amount of kids that we're talking about, it's not going to take a lot of time. And it's going to save a lot of time down the road. Make that connection. Lisa made that connection to this point where we've become very good friends. I got to tell you, she named her firstborn son after me. And she's like, Scott, we want to name him Matthew Scott. And I said, if Matthew Scott, I was like, thank you so much, I'm honored, but why not Scott Matthew? And she said, well, Scott, we want to name him after a saint. I said, there's no saint named Scott, I understand that. But I would never be where I am. And I say this to you because I hope you take the same approach. I would never be where I am because it got me back into a new world of movement. I was that person who, guess what, had every single reason to say, you know what, I had the movement, I don't have it now, I don't want to do it. She gave me that mentality to help me move forward. I remember transitioning back to school, and this is where times were. Now we're talking about 1986. And right away, I remember a desk and where the gym teacher was. Hey, come here, Scott, sit next to me. And again, good intentions and wanting to keep me in the class, but let's do check-in together. And so we did check-in together. How you doing, Susie? Yeah, we did all this. And I'll never forget, all of a sudden they were playing basketball one day, and I'm off to the side watching, and the ball rolled over to me. I don't even think we had the three-point line at that moment. And all of a sudden I got the ball, and I went like this and took a shot from the corner and went in. And it was a swish, and all of a sudden the coach looked at me. And he goes, I think we can involve you somewhere. So I got involved a little bit. I probably broke a couple kneecaps, but I got involved in the game a little bit. And then that helped me. That helped me. But then I started to see this transition. Is that I went on to college, and I'm at Seton Hall University. And I got involved with the basketball team there for a little bit. And again, started off on the sideline, just giving you guys moral support and everything. And one day I'm looking at, there's a cone there. And these guys are doing picks and everything. I was like, a cone, that's not gonna like help them to run off the screen and take a shot. And I said, hey PJ, remember PJ Carlos? I was the coach at the time. I said, PJ, I was like, what if I take the spot of that cone and everything? I was like, I'd be more like a player, I'm not that tall and everything. So I remember going out there, and I put the brakes on, and now I'm thinking, what have I gotten myself into? I remember Jerry Walker, 6'9" guy, probably about 260 pounds. He comes running off the screen. He was a friend of mine, still a friend of mine. He blew right through me, knocked me over on the chair, landed flat on my back. And you're like, are you kidding me? Is this what Scott's asking us to do? Is that he ran right over me, and all of a sudden it was there, and it was an educational moment. He picked me up in a certain way, and then put me back in the chair, and we kind of modified things a little bit. But it was almost like at that moment, I became even more a part of the team. So there's creativity that's needed on the part of the person with the disability, but it's also needed on those people that are around. It's a two-way street, but I like to say everybody involved. I mean, if you're that physical education teacher right now, yeah, get the physical therapist involved, get the parents involved, get the friends involved. It'd be very interesting to see, who they're friends with, to find out more about the passions and the interests, rather than just focusing on the disability and limitations. Find out what's possible from that angle.